Is the big guys in the end always win, or is there a chance that we can change things?
All right. So my name is Sjöberg, and I'm from the University of Helsinki here in Helsinki, Finland. And I'm going to talk about digital meme, but also maybe more about the motivations about the project. And so yes. So our kind of the kind of place from where we are coming is slightly different from the previous speakers, but in some sense we have ended up in quite similar place. So, as I said, I'm a researcher, and all this comes from our research project, in which we were thinking about knowledge work and future knowledge work, so how knowledge work is changing. And we found out some things. We did some kind of studies that, first of all, knowledge work is kind of growing, so more and more of work today is knowledge work instead of physical work and other types of work. And we found several trends that were kind of emerging. So one is, of course, automation. Many more things are automated. Also inside of knowledge work, things that were previously filled in by hand and so on, they are now kind of doing digitally. The whole kind of environment of work is getting more kind of diverse. You are more collaborating across the world, different time zones, different cultures, and so on. And you increasingly have to connect data from different sources, different kind of incompatibilities. And the other kind of big trend was that the work is getting more kind of project-based and quite a lot of like freelancing type work. And you see also as a researcher that you no longer have typically some fixed position and then you are there for 30 years and do the same things, but you are like research projects and they come and go, and you are often in several projects at the same time. So it's this type of, not exactly freelancing, but a little bit similar even from our point of view. So this brings a lot of challenges that kind of you get can have the information overload problem, how to organize all these things, and to how do you can even change your employer, but you still continue in the same project. I have seen this many times. So all these kind of topics came up. With how do we approach them? And many in our project have a computer science background, so of course we look at kind of technical solution to this. And one thing that we came to was this type of you have your own kind of digital collection. That's something that collects your memory, what you are doing in the day. So the answer was kind of clear to us after some brainstorming that it's putting the knowledge worker in the center. It's not really the organization or anything like that, but because that's the kind of one thing that doesn't change in this like really constantly changing world. So we noticed that maybe I should keep this in my hand.
Yeah.
The volume keeps changing when I move my hands. So we kind of came to this conclusion, and it comes from the fact that knowledge work is almost all of knowledge work today is digitally mediated. Like all your communications, it's email, you are editing documents on your computer, and these types of interactions, they are always logged. And today it's typically like Google Docs or some your email provider or whatever. So it's a big privacy challenge, of course, but it has the potential to solve many of the challenges I just mentioned. That if you could somehow better track your day, you could manage your time better. So from these ideas we came to this, okay, we need this kind of platform to, kind of personal data storage platform to collect for each individual knowledge worker what they are doing in the day. And basically the main weight of the project is around this, developing different applications that can utilize this data store. So for those who are interested, the research project is called Reno, and it's Helsinki Institute of Information Technology and the Finnish Institute of Occupational Health. The other is are the partners there. And here is actually Aalto University and University of Helsinki kind of collaborate. So the platform that we develop for our research, we call it Digital Me, and what it's doing is basically logging your digital footprint, and we are especially looking at knowledge work, so we are not taking your Facebook or Twitter stuff. Of course, we could do that as well, but we are mostly focusing on knowledge work. So you are using your computer in your work, your emails, your documents, what you are editing, all these type of things. And the platform is free and open source software, so you can download it today. But keep in mind, it's research kind of prototype, so it's not as nice UI as Host Cloud, but it works. And because of our own background, what we are really interested in is using machine learning to then utilize this logged data, and also for occupational health aspects, how to, for example, health in the working day. Maybe you have been sitting now for 3 hours programming, maybe you should take a break, these type of issues. And there you can see the address to access the code. And there is also a scientific paper that has been accepted and will be published in roughly 1 month. So. Some slide with all the technologies, if someone is interested. I'm not going here, I guess. I'm not so interested to go through it here. This slide shows the basic architecture. It's quite similar to what you have seen before. It's basically an intelligent database server. So we have various loggers, like logging your document usage or emails, or also you can have mobile phone logging your location and those things, and it goes into the Digital Me. And then applications built on top of that. So the idea is we have a set of loggers, and actually here is an example of what we have developed or things that are planned in our project. So various types of loggers, and then the applications can use like a subset or even all of them if they wish to. And the basic data model might interest some technical people. So we have an event-based model, which is that over time events occur, and then they may refer to some more kind of static items, like you opened the document and then later you modified it, and maybe next day you're again reading it. So we need a way to identify those type of things. So this is kind of relevant in comparison to the other PDS systems. Right now, actually, Digital Me is mainly planned to be running in your own machine, and this is for, okay, it solves the privacy issues for us, and as a research platform, it's kind of the easiest solution because most of your knowledge work is done in your work laptop or your work desktop. But we are now also doing this kind of proxy side because there are basically like connectivity issues if you're running your laptop and then you want to connect your mobile phone. They are not in the same network and so on. But we also have planned that use similar trusted cloud ideas. I understand that Cozy also is using. But it's designed so it could easily scale also to there. So it's actually a server that you are running in your laptop, so it could easily also run in the cloud. So rest of the talk will basically be me going through some applications that we have been developing. I'm just showing a few examples from the project, and you can go to reno.fi. There's the whole project website, but I'm just picking a few examples here. So you can think of this digital me as kind of your digital memory. It focuses on knowledge work. So, and it can be used to provide insight into your own behavior, so everything you have logged through the day. And I know, for example, for myself, I sometimes wonder that what was I doing the whole working day yesterday? It seems that I didn't get anything done, but I was really busy the whole day. And then it's really useful to go back and see what did it log and what was I actually doing, and so on. And this is one of the example applications. So one of the applications that has been published, there's also another paper coming out about this. So it's this kind of proactive search. User interface is not very nice looking, but yeah, it serves for the research purpose as well. And basically what it's doing is that from this logging data, it can estimate what your current task is. And maybe you are now writing something, maybe you're a researcher, you're writing some paper, and it can estimate, okay, you're working on this topic. And it continually runs in the background, so then when you want you realize, okay, I have some, what we call information need, you need to find maybe the document you were working on last week when you were working on the same topic, or it could be also like Google search. And then you switch to this application, and if everything works well, it has already the correct results there. So it's a simple idea, but it's quite interesting and could make knowledge work much smoother. So it's kind of constantly doing the searches for you and then are available when you need them. And again, keeping track that this is running in your own machine, so it's not going to some cloud where someone is collecting all of your information, that it's already always in your own machine. Another kind of, this is actually more of a logger than application. It's a PDF reader basically, and so you open like a 30-page document with lots of stuff, and actually you are just reading a few things there. So this PDF reader, it knows what you are reading, because what pages you are looking at, and it also works with gaze tracking if you happen to have such a device, which we do at the university, but maybe not everyone has them. So you can see exactly what you are looking at in the page. And then later on, when you want to search for it, it's much more relevant to know that you read like section 3, these things here, instead of the whole huge document, which some things may not be relevant to you. Another one is this automated profiling. There's also a paper about that. So basically from communication data like emails, but could also be expanded to any kind of documents you extract with machine learning methods like skill profile, so what are topics you are an expert in. And then here you can, with consent, because now it goes to some service outside, we could have like expert finding service, so this would work quite automatically. That, let's say you want to start a new project, and then you can use that to find people, like you want someone who is expert in Java programming or expert in machine learning or something like that. So this could be used for that. Another project that we are working on is this intelligent meeting room. So the example image shows some video extracted from, there is some of the meetings, research meetings, and records the video and audio, and then from this you can extract what was spoken. You can even get the slides there, because usually the talk is centered around some slides or something like that. And we also had a student who was looking at attention level and what people are looking at in the meeting. So if everyone is really focused on the slides, or if people are looking at the roof and not paying attention. So these things can be interesting to analyze afterwards. Some applications is of course recalling the meeting, or if you were if you missed the meeting, you can see the highlights, or what has happened to me several times that I remember we discussed this, but I cannot remember exactly what was said. So you could basically do a text search. Okay, we discussed this thing, and it can find a time spot in the video, and you can view it again. So other topic was, I already mentioned a little bit. I call a quantified worker. So let's say here is one of your working days, and here I've illustrated some things that were logged during the day, emails you were reading, maybe your mobile phone location, documents, editing, and so on. And I did this experiment with myself. I used this Fitbit tracker, but you could use any other type. And I took such a trivial measure as how many steps I took. And it was quite interesting, that a very good way of segmenting my day. So here I'm getting to work, I'm running to the bus or something like that. Then there's a lunch break. You can see there around 11. And then I had a meeting in the afternoon at 2. And then I walked back from the meeting. This is a bit idealized. I did some other walking also, like fetching coffee, but it's not so. And then I went home. So this is kind of trivial, but it could be, you see that by combining like different sources of data, you can then do some kind of interesting things. Like this would be to segment your day. So probably I was working on one topic here. And then here we can use some machine learning like classification. That, okay, here I was working on this particular project because of the types of document I was editing, or the type of work I was doing, like programming or those things. And this is some slightly idealized example of a real day of mine. So to conclude, we came from quite different angle from the other projects here, from looking at knowledge work and how it is changing, and the kind of challenges there. But interestingly, we kind of came to the same conclusion that putting the knowledge worker in the center and using the personal data is kind of the key to solving these, or kind of overcoming those challenges. And the main part of the talk is this digital meat platform, and that several applications that we are building around it. Some of them might be sound trivial, but I think together it's quite interesting to combine the different sources, and we are just kind of starting to see what kind of things we can do by combining all of them. That one researcher is making logging type for some new type of data, and different applications sees that, hey, I can combine this with what I was doing before and get some kind of quite interesting results. Okay, so thank you.